everybody and welcome to another event vlog. We are en route to walk the course. Today is Friday the something of April, I don't know. But we're actually not competing until Sunday. I'm taking a start in the B100, but because of work commitments and other things, we're going to go up and walk the course today. So I've turned on the vlog. I'm going to have a little chat to you about what's going on and then you'll see the course. So this is our first event since Lark Hill, which was obviously first event of the season. I'm sure you've all seen that vlog. I'm sure you've all seen that I wasn't particularly happy with our day. Had some ups, had many a down. Our dressage was the worst in the section, and not just by a little way. Like if you've seen the test, it was not good. And then I was particularly disappointed with the way that I rode in the jumping. However, new vlog, new positive attitude. We're going and we're gonna have fun, and the aim is just to enjoy it, to get back in the rhythm and stop putting pressure on myself. Our dressage is probably not going to be a world-beating, record-scoring, podium-placing score. So I'm just going to go in the mindset of having fun and just continuing to blow off the cobwebs. It's just getting back into the swing of it. That is the vibe for this weekend. Positive vibes only. I do have a few goals I'd like to improve upon last week's dressage, which shouldn't be hard, but really at this point I feel like Star's calling the shots. I feel like I cannot make any, I don't know, Star is a law unto himself, so I'd like to improve on our dressage. May not happen. And I'd also like to work on my riding out cross country, because like I said last time, I just rode a bit backwards, I was a little bit nervous, I was a little bit all over the shop. So going out, putting no pressure on myself, having fun and just trying to ride a little bit more forwardly and get that nice cross country feeling back rather than looking like a bit of a lemon. So that is the plan for the weekend, and then we're actually heading off like 3 days after Solihull to Aston Walls with Atty, so it's going to be a jam-packed week. Obviously that will be a different vlog, but there's lots of eventing action for you guys to watch. Anyway, I will love you and leave you, and I will let you know what I think of the cross-country course after you've seen it, so roll the clips. Okay, so we have just arrived at Solihull. First impressions are Mum's annoyed because we both rocked out nearly in the loo, and they have cable tied all of the loo shut. Anyway, we're about to head down to cross country. You can see the start box maybe behind me, so we're going to go and give it a walk. Okay, so just walked 1 to 3, it's all quite close together, and then there's like, not a combination, but separately numbered fences, which we're thinking are a bit of an angle. But what we do like is Mum and her keen eye for detail noted that the fence is painted in the colour of the class, so like how the novice is always yellow, 100's always pink. Nice little details, we like that Solihull. Look, here we are in the middle of the picturesque countryside. Or so you think. If you can see that spot of blue in the distance, that is a motorway sign. It does not feel like you are right next to the M42, but you are. Nice little hill. So we are at our first little question on the course, really. It's not really a question, but they've given you a choice. So essentially they said you can either jump that or you can jump that. And you're coming out from there. So that would obviously waste a lot of time, but that is probably slightly more technical. I think we're going to go for that because it shouldn't be a problem for Star, but at least I know if something goes wrong, you can go and jump that table instead and just add those couple of extra seconds. This ground is amazing. We can literally feel the sponge. Like I would jump on it like a trampoline. Anyway, no one wanted to see that. But more interestingly, this combination. Haven't seen the B element yet, but loving the A element because you come in and you can kind of make your own line. I love it when they start to add those like bits of rider, what do you call it? Like rider arrow into it. There's the B5 there. Getting absolutely rinsed by this one about my speed, but I've said that I think I could probably jump this one from a little bit faster because it's not too big and it's not too boxy, but we'll see. Shout out to fence 14, my favourite one on the fence so far, nice and small. So we have a nice little question, guys, about fence 15. Again,
Really liking the colour coordination, Solihull. You have done a good job, but you've got to step down into water, which I didn't think you really had at 100. I've done it before on Star, I think. Don't think that should be a problem. And then out over the sea elements, so actually you have to get quite a good line as well. Nice little bit of train spotting.
Right, howdy folks, we are on the motorway on our way home from walking the course, and I'm not feeling awful about it, which I don't say very often. I think what it is I went to Solihull last year, I think I said that earlier, with Atty and the novice. If you've seen that vlog, you will know I was pretty much a nervous wreck after I walked that course. It was like my first novice back. It was so big, so technical. They'd basically refurbished the entire course. It was looking really good, but every fence was a question. It was either big, wide, up to height, technical, skinny. There was no like nice average fence. So I was kind of expecting to feel a bit like that this time, even though I'm only doing the 100, but obviously I'm doing it on Star, and it's actually alright. You'll have seen some of my thoughts. I did give you some of my thoughts as I was walking around. Obviously, fence 6 is really interesting because they give you a choice. They give you a choice, and I'm never good when it comes to choices because I never know what the right thing is to do. You can either jump that skinny, which is coming like on a reasonably tight corner, not awful, and it's obviously like pretty big, and Star doesn't really brush through fences, so I can't even look at that brush and say, okay, and that's brush height. Like that is solid height to Star because he's a show jumper, he likes to go over things, he does not like to go through things. Or you can jump that still pretty solid and actually still kind of skinny house table thing, but it means you have to kind of loop around and add probably another like 15 seconds onto your time. So it's interesting. I think I'm going to plan to go for the skinny. Star's really good with skinnies. I obviously practiced a lot of skinnies in my last vlog, which is my cross country schooling vlog. So yeah, I think that is probably my plan of action. But when you're presented with a choice so early on course, you're like, what do I do? Also, the water at the end is reasonably interesting because it's not very often at all at 100 that you have a step down into water. Usually I'd say you only really see that at novice. Star has done one at Broadway last year, but it was tiny. It was like hardly even a step. It was a lip, let's call it, a lip into water. But we also did practice some at Attington. We went for French schooling, so there's no reason why he wouldn't be alright with that. It's certainly just like, it's an interesting question because you have a jump and then like 1 or 2 strides into water, and then coming out of the water you've got a pretty big box as well, so you can't really let your guard down at any point. You can't really like leap into the water and fling forward, otherwise you might miss the jump. So yeah, I mean, like I said before, a lot of the fences are big and square and up to height, which I usually feel quite nervous about. Don't really know why I'm not feeling nervous yet. I think maybe it's because it's only Friday and I'm not jumping over them until Sunday, but I feel strangely optimistic. So I do love Solihull. They've done an amazing job with the ground. I think I showed you, like they've aerated it all, and the ground in places feels spongy, like really nice and like trampoline like. So they've done a really good job, and their fences are always so interesting. There's never like loads of round wooden blocks. It's always like fun and colourful and different, and they're designed nicely, so it's a nice course to walk, and I'm really excited to ride it actually. So I'll probably leave you here. I might see you in a minute if we stop at Starbucks because, you know, it'd be very, very slow. But other than that, I will probably catch up with you properly on Saturday afternoon when I'm getting ready to go eventing.
So it's now Saturday. I'm just about to get Star in to have a final ride. We're just going to have a nice calming hack, hopefully, and maybe a little pep talk about what's going to go well this time, and maybe a bribe as well. It is such a beautiful day. Sadly, I don't think the weather is going to be quite this nice tomorrow, but as long as it stays dry, it'll be an improvement on a large hill, so I can't really complain. But look, it's just gorgeous today. I'm taking Star out for his final little ponder ahead of tomorrow. Given Star a quick clean, and he's now looking rather miffed because I managed to find a no-fill rug, so hopefully he's not going to get too dirty ahead of tomorrow because he's going back out in the field. No rolling, no rolling. Stay on all 4 feet, my friend. Didn't even think about rolling. Can't tell these games of grass whether he's trying to roll. When I next see you, you better still be white, okay? Okay? Still gonna be white? Yes?
Kia update time. So it's currently Saturday afternoon. What I should be doing is schooling Lulu or packing the lorry or plaiting my horse for tomorrow. But what I'm going to do is watch some of Kentucky because that is so exciting. It's the first 5-starter run this year because obviously badminton's been cancelled and we didn't get to watch badminton or Burley last year. So I'm going to take this afternoon and I'm going to watch some of it. And then I'm just going to pick up the pieces tomorrow morning. Just taken a wee break from watching the Kentucky 5-star cross country as it's been a little bit of a whole long course. It's reminded me that I have my own eventing story to follow along with. I'm very invested in the pros, but I myself am going eventing tomorrow. And I've just picked up this bad boy, which is my Piney heat pad. I've talked about it a bit in a different vlog. I'm pretty sure it was my week in the life vlog about how much I love it and how great it is for Star. It relaxes him, but I've actually never brought it to an event before. So I think this is time to try it. Like at Lark Hill Star, I got really stressed just before the dressage, just before we sort of tacked him up. He just suddenly kind of got a little bit like, oh my god, we're actually competing. So I feel like this will be absolutely perfect for just having him chill out, just relax and zen. Good morning, it is bright and early on event day. It's currently Sunday morning and I thought I'd pop on here very quickly because this vlog has been a little bit disjointed so far. So we're finally here, it's the main attraction, it's event day, and I'd say vibe check, the vibes in the cab, they're alright. We're excited, we're ready, maybe a couple of minutes behind where we could be, but nothing drastic. So we're heading up to the yard now to feed Star, get him all platted up, and I'm actually also going to hop on Lulu and give her a little ride. I have made up Star's breakfast. He's looking rather happy to see me. Oh, and you're dirty. What did we say about staying clean? What did we say? We spoke about this. Okay, so the time is about 10 to 7. I'm just on board Lulu and we're just gonna have a little ride before we get going. Not very long, but just to make sure she's had some exercise because I did spend far too long yesterday watching Rolex Kentucky and not schooling. So that is the job for this morning. I have to show you what I'm wearing because my get up is pretty funny. I realised I had only brought my white jumpers or my big chunky trackies, so they're all up at the knee. My boots don't quite do that, but we're gonna have a good schooling session anyway. All done. I am pretty pleased with that session. Lulu was a good girl because obviously we've not done a whole lot of schooling because all we have at home is the field, so we couldn't use that all through the winter. And then if we went out to arena, we'd usually use the opportunity to pop a couple of little jumps. So she's not done a whole load of schooling and she's finally getting the idea of it, and it's so rewarding. So we were working a little bit on our 20-metre circles because I think when you're not a youngster you take for granted actually that can be quite taxing for them, and we're just starting to find those buttons and get some long and low because I think that's going to be the key to cracking a bit of a contact. But she's going so forward and so nicely now, which, you know, once upon a time felt like it wouldn't happen. That's her saying, yes I am, I'm a good girl. On our way down to the lorry to load. And look at Mum. Mum is looking pretty bougie for an event day. She's got her nice skinny jeans on and a nice Barrett coat, and I'm pretty sure it's her Best Life hat. And then you see me in my like all navy sweats. Are we going somewhere? Star is just like the best horse to load. He just loads himself. Right, I don't think I can do this one-handed, so I'm going to go. Right, vlog update and vibe check. I'd say vibes are slightly less good than they were before because may have accidentally forgotten to pack my beautiful Charles Owen Young Rider 8 beautiful fixed peak cap, love it, wow, chef's kiss, beautiful hat. So I was a little bit disappointed I didn't have it, and I thought, oh well, I'll just have riding my other hat. And then I realised that I hadn't packed a plain hat silk because I wasn't planning on riding it in it other than cross country. So it would have meant going dressage in my cross country silk, which isn't actually allowed under BE rules. It's got to be plain, and the BE gods above would have just had a field day with that one. So we had to stop at home and pick up my lovely fixed peak hat, which I'm now looking after for dear life. But luckily it hasn't added too much time to the journey. That sun is really just gonna go right there, isn't it? Anyway, it hasn't really added too much time to the journey because we had to kind of go past the house anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Underway, and look how organised I have been. I have got some breakfast which I'm very, very excited to dig into. Not feeling too nervous, so I think I can actually eat it, which is good, makes a change for once. And just had a little refresh my memory of the dressage test. I haven't looked at that for a couple of days. It's alright,
actually, as far as the B100 dressage tests go, I think this one is probably one of the ones that is more suited to star because there's not loads of transitions early on, which, you know, is good. It does have serpentines in, which I don't know how it's going to feel about that, but should be fine. I've practiced all of the movements individually. I don't think I've actually run the test all together, which, you know, some people might say is a mistake, but we're just rolling with it. Oh, and the other thing I was going to talk about, because some of you guys are very, very eagle-eyed, you notice everything. I get messages about everything from what coat I wore to this new saddle pad to things that I would think you wouldn't even pick up on. So I thought I would say that we are actually going to attempt to ride this dressage test in our jump saddle today. I've been schooling Sarah at home both in his dressage saddle and jump saddle, and he's been going really nicely in both. And yet when I've gone out and about, he's been a bit like tense, and it's probably nothing to do with the dressage saddle. It's probably just a coincidence, but I like to give it a go, see if it makes any difference, see where we're at. Perhaps it just means that the dressage saddle needs like a little check, but that is the plan for the day. So if you see my lower legs swinging around in the dressage, that is absolutely why.
Drunk, I've never seen you clearer than now. We're flying high, floating somewhere up in the clouds. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning.
Okay, so we've arrived. I've literally just popped on Star's bridle, given him a calming cookie. He's feeling alright. He's not feeling too lively just yet. About to get him out and start on his studs, and while I do that I'm also going to put on his Apine heat pad to hopefully help calm him a little bit. But we're right by the commentary, we can hear all the commentary of the tannoy, and they keep saying that there's been a lot of problems at fence 6 already, so nerve levels are going up. Okay, so I am just about to get all of my stuff on for dressage, and I'm feeling kind of like it's out of my control now. I think we've done everything that we possibly could to keep him calm. He's had the heat pad, he's had a calming cookie, he's been zen, he's got his ears on. Hopefully we're all relaxed, and he seems alright at the moment, but obviously who knows what's going to happen when we get onto the warm-up, and who knows what's going to happen when we get onto the arena. But I feel like I've kind of done everything I can do. The last thing that's in my domain is to make sure that I warm up in the correct way, which I guess is just not being too gentle like last time. Last time I warmed up and it was pretty because I was polite and I was like, yeah, okay, we'll just try in pretty circles, but actually I need to get him thinking about the test even before we go in. So that is the plan of action now. One happy little horsey because I've just popped on his Apine UK heat pad just so you can have like 20 minutes of it before we start. It's only been on a minute, but it is warming up already, which is pretty good.
Oh, wasted. City lights are shining so bright. All these empty faces, we don't care about them tonight. We're going out of ourselves, can you feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're the wheels that won't stop turning. I know we're acting stupid, we're being dumb, maybe just a little bit foolish, but I feel so young. Just go a little crazy and lose it. I don't care if we're dumb, it's the only
I thought I would interject quickly and give you some of my thoughts, because up until this point in the test, I was actually quite pleased. You may not be watching it, and I'll go into more detail later, but if you see my Larkhill vlog, you will know that so far this is a big improvement. However, the section was running a few minutes late. We'd been warming up a little bit longer than I'd hoped to, but I didn't want to stop the warm-up. I didn't want to give him an excuse to kind of flip out. So when I went into that long range free walk that you just witnessed, he just thought he was done. He was like, that's it, game over, I am well and truly finished. So as you can see, then when I had to do the quick transition to trot and canter, he was a little bit like not feeling dressage anymore. He'd had enough, and this was slightly reminiscent to Larkhill, not as bad. We did luckily manage to get it back in the trot coming up, but I thought I would just give you my thoughts and obviously leave this in so you can see that although it was a test I was much happier with, it definitely wasn't perfect. There's still a lot of improvements needed before we can really be competitive, but to finish up on a good note was the main thing. And like I said, the first half of the test I was pretty pleased with. Second half, not so much, but that makes a huge difference from being happy with none of it last time. Initial thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't great, but it was a whole different ballpark to last week, so I'll take that. Okay, dressage is all done, and as you can probably see, my face is a little bit happier than last week. By many people's standards, that would not have been the test of their dreams, but compared to Larkhill, it was a different test, it was a different horse. I'm so pleased with him. So essentially, he warmed up really nicely. Mum got some of the warm-up on film all the time, and I was just willing the judge to call me over. I was willing it to happen because it was like my time. I was like, we're ready to go. And she wasn't saying anything, And then she was like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh my God. So essentially, I think we still warmed up a little bit too much. We just about held it together. Bless her. I was like, I'm not going to bring him back to walk. I'm not going to put him on like a long range free walk and relax because I know we won't get it back. So we were just kind of like plugging away at it all. And he was being really good. There were some horses being really silly in the warm-up arena right next to him, which would usually be like, and he was absolutely fine. So pleased with that. Went over to the test, managed to trot over, which is a big thing for us if we can continue trotting in that same rhythm. He did tense up slightly because obviously he knew what was happening, but I managed to pop him into canter around the outside and just get him back. The first half of the test I was pretty pleased with. Like I said, some people might be like, oh, it wasn't very accurate or this or that, but I was kind of like just willing Start to be good, and he was. And at one point I went to kind of like touch up on the accuracy of the test a little bit, like try and ride a corner, and he was like, I felt him tense up, so I was like, right, we're just gonna have to accept that it may not be the most accurate test I've ever done, but he was going really nicely. After the medium walk, it did fall apart a little bit because he was like, right, I'm done, you've put me on a long rein, it's over. And I was like, no, we've still got a bit left, and that was nowhere near as good. But the fact that the first half of the test was good is such a big improvement, and I'm really hopeful that I can see my test sheet to see what that first half of the test was like before it fell apart a little bit.
jumping, and actually I feel really good about it because unlike Lark Hill, Mum is just walking back and forwards. That's like the second time I've had to record that, but it's fine. We love a background accessory. Yeah, I was really pleased with the round because I felt that Star was listening to me a lot more than he did at Lark Hill. At Lark Hill it was kind of like Star says and Star does, and Flo sits on top and is scared. Whereas I felt like a lot better about that. Obviously I made a little bit of a mistake at Event 7 and the Straw Stride that wasn't there, and he was really good in helping me out. But yes, I have to say, I am so nervous about cross country. I'm going to go out there and attack it, but there have definitely been a lot of problems, particularly at Event 6 and also at the water, a lot of people going wrong there, and also at Event 5, which surprises me because it didn't seem like that big of a question, but maybe it's just because it's like leaving a field, maybe it's a bit nappy. But anyway, I'll give you the rundown after I've been. I'm not sure whether or not to be and Star. Very pleased with this boy. Right, howdy folks. Excuse this, there's a lot going on here. Really need a shower. As soon as this camera goes off I will be hopping on in, but I thought I would do a little bit of an outro because it's a bit loud in the lorry sometimes, you can hear the engine, so I thought since it's still light and it's a beautiful picturesque day that I would just do it out here, and I'm kind of like battling the mad squinty vibes and shadows. So you've got this angle which is just gonna have to do, and let's talk about today. So I haven't actually chatted to you guys too much the other day. Things got a little bit busy because we were trying to learn show jumping courses halfway through the day, and yeah, our times were not super far apart, so it was pretty manic, but I did obviously reflect with you guys post dressage. Really pleased with that. Like I said earlier, a lot of people would look at 36, which is the score we got in the end, 36.3 I think, and be like, that is rubbish, because it was in the bottom half of the tests in my section, but I'm not upset with that. I'm happy with that. Compared to Lark Hill, you have to be, because if you've watched both vlogs, it's a different horse. It's not the same beast, it's literally a different animal. So yeah, I am pretty pleased with that. I let the test down in terms of accuracy because I was worried about asking too much of him and putting too much pressure on him, because a couple of times at the start I tried to like tweak a little bit, like, oh, we're not going straight here, buddy, and he was like, tense. That was great. Please don't screenshot that. Yeah, he was rather tense when I asked him to make those changes, so I was like, right, we're just gonna play it safe, throw away a couple of marks for accuracy. And then actually he kind of thought he was done about half through the test after I picked him up after free rein long walk. He was like,
yeah, not feeling it anymore, but we just about held it together. So can't really be disappointed, and hopefully we're on that upwards trajectory now. Again, also the warm-up, we were running a few minutes late, so the warm-up was a little bit long, but that's just the nature of eventing. They say they're running on time, doesn't mean they are. Anyway, down to show jumping, which was causing absolute carnage. All of the jumps were pretty close together. If you saw my Solihull event vlog from last year, which, you know, you have to be an OG, then you'll know that last year at Solihull, the fences were in that whole arena, and the course still caused a lot of trouble because I don't know really why, I just did. And this time, because of COVID regulations and not being able to use an indoor, which is where the warm-up was last year, the arena was like split, so you had to warm up in the very end, which made the main arena even smaller, so the jumps were even more crammed in. And yeah, so as a result, a lot of problems, a lot of poles, people were missing fences. Yeah, it didn't always look pretty. So I was really pleased to go in there and get clear with Star, but again, even more over than that, I was pleased to go in there and have a round where we rode together, unlike Larkhill where I sat on board and Star dictated. Obviously he saved my bacon at fence 7, which is like that big blue spread, where I thought I saw a stride and then decided I hadn't, and luckily he still went and was really good. But yeah, a clear round around that track was great, because I look at eventing scores, which has all the stats and the rundowns, and there were only 45% of the people that jumped today went clear around the B100 course, and there were a lot of pros there today, especially in my section because it's the open section, so pretty pleased with that. And then on to cross country, which again, just so happy. Last time didn't really enjoy the cross country, came out of it and I moaned for about 5 minutes to you guys on the vlog on the way home because I was really disappointed, and I hadn't had that like adrenaline exciting cross country feel, and I had it back today, and that is the main thing. So I spent the last like couple of weeks just going, I really hope that I am enjoying it and I'm feeling confident, I'm having fun. It took me a couple of fences, but I got into it, loved it. Went the direct route at fence 6 over that skinny, which was causing just so many problems. There were 30 stops at that one fence because it was quite a big question quite early on, and considering there's a black flag alternative there as well, which many people took straight away, that is an incredible amount of stops and an incredible amount of problems. So just chuffed, especially because Star helped me out, because there wasn't really a stride there. He like chipped in and went really nicely, and from there we just grew in confidence around the course. He was taking lots of flyers, strides out here and everywhere, and the whole thing was just a lot more forward and confident than Larkhill. I really enjoyed it, which I was not saying in my last event vlog. So pretty chuffed with that. It was a good end of the day. We did come home with a few time penalties. That's still something that I'm trying to knuckle down on with Star, which is Mum's biggest thing now. Mum's gonna be at me every single time we get any time penalties. But at the end of the day, it wasn't like there's a plating on the line. I'm in the open sections now, which is like, it's uber competitive. For those of you who perhaps aren't familiar with B and don't know what it is when I'm talking about B100 Open, it just means that because both Atty and Star jumped double clears at B novice level in the last season, Star at Morton Moral, Atty at Broadway, you can go and watch these vlogs if you want, it means that they can't compete against other people in grassroots classes, if that makes sense. So at B90, B100, they can't compete in the normal sections, they have to compete in special sections for horses who've had success at novice. It's just the way BE works. It's definitely hard as like an amateur who's had one double clear on both of them at that level to be against the likes of Andrew Nicholson and John T. Evans and, oh my god, just so many more names. Like if you look at a list of people who've been around badminton, all those kinds of people. But that's just how BE works, and you know, you kind of sign up to that when you go novice, and it's part of the downside of the amazing benefit of having jumped a double clear at novice. So it's just something you kind of got to accept, but it does mean that the sections are uber competitive. So no placings on the line. So today our adjusted score actually had already put us outside of the top 10 because it was a massive section of 40, so it was just nice to have a spin, no stress, no pressure. And Star will next be out at Morton Moral, which I'm so excited to get them step back up to novice. We won't talk about how that's kind of my bogey venue. We're just gonna roll with it. But if you're wanting more eventing content, make sure you hit subscribe down below, because Atty, the main golden boy, is getting out eventing literally in like 3 days after this vlog's been filmed. I'm literally about to go and like start getting things all prepared for that and make sure the lorry's not looking too dirty, because I also have 2 4 AM shifts this week ahead of eventing Atty. So yeah, I am really dreading this week, but it's gonna be good. So great to get out eventing Atty. I'm so excited, and yes, a very good day today with Star. So if you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. If you've got this far, leave a comment below. I love reading your comments. It literally makes it also worth it. Like knowing what you guys enjoyed, which bits you like to see, which bits you still want to see, which bits that I haven't shown that you want to see more of. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. Bye.